Hello again. Like most parts of the country which are run by multi-coalition governments, service delivery instability continues to be a headache. The city of Ekurhuleni is no exception. The ANC in the province held a briefing on the number of challenges that's faced by the council. Now, Party Chief Whip Jomi says Mayor Sivuyile Ngondwane from the African Independent Congress must keep his MMCs in order to restore services to the metro. Ngondwane was elected in April after Tanya Campbell's ousting. Now, Pule Letshwiti-Jones has been keeping an eye on what's been happening in Ekurhuleni. He's back now. He's in the studios, coming all the way from the East Rand to Hyde Park studios. Good afternoon, Pule. Welcome to today. So, I'm sure, I mean, you and I have spoken about this kind of setups all the time. Tshwane, Joburg, and Ekurhuleni. People on the ground, the residents of Ekurhuleni are the ones who suffer the most.
The residents are quite upset with what's going on, particularly this political wrangling happening within the municipality. Now, what the ANC is saying, they're saying to the mayor of Ekurhuleni, get your house in order and ensure that MMCs know what oversight role they're supposed to play in terms of their various portfolios. Because this comes just in the wake of the EFF having said that there were waste trucks that went missing, but the city clarified that to say, no, the waste trucks were actually auctioned. So there seems to be some bit of a miscommunication between the MMCs and the mayor, and therefore the ANC is saying, we cannot be or take the fall for this crisis that's happening in the municipality, and therefore get your house in order. But contrary to that, the irony behind this is that this is the very same party that worked with the EFF and the Super 7 to elect this mayor. And it seems now they're regretting that this mayor is in power. But I just want you to take a listen to what the residents have had to say earlier on, because Germiston is quite dirty, Bradad, I must tell you. Some parts of Ekurhuleni as well looks like they've been neglected for a while. And the issue of waste is one that's been haunting the municipality, not only now, but even under the DA administration. One would have thought that the ANC and the EFF and the other parties would come in and fix this issue. But it seems as though it's one that keeps persisting. Let's take a listen.
I don't know why people are getting paid every month and our city is looking like this. I think they can do a better job. Yes.
What's your message to the government here in Ekurhuleni?
You are failing us. Please help. Can you try to do better? That is for our government. Please try to do better. You are failing us.
Ingcolile nje lento le yimbi kakhulu. Nje la eGermiston nayo. Akukho right.
What must be done ngale nto yokucleana la?
Municipality mhlawumbe ingayenza something. Nabo like ivula amathuba omsebenzi iqasha abantu abazocleana khona la.
Yeah, vele amagundwane njengoba nazi nani ukuthi amagundwane athanda vele izinto ezingcolile. So ngeke ehlale ngabika amagundwane edolobheni, angakwazi nanokuthi mhlawumbe agcine ngena nasezitoro, agcina amosha ezinye impahla yabo. Manje angeke nabantu bekwazi ukuthi befike bezothenga izinto eseyimosheni amagundwane.
Poor residents of Ekurhuleni. And I can tell you now, in most of South African municipalities, similar situations have happened. Remember Pule municipality? Just a few months ago? Don't know what the situation is there. But back to Ekurhuleni, you spoke to the ANC?
Yeah, the ANC is saying that, look, we need to actually speak to the mayor. He needs to make sure that he administers the MMC committee really in the right direction, because there are issues around MMCs who believe to be super MMCs, meddling with procurement processes. We now know that
what is an MMC doing with the procurement process?
MMCs meeting contractors, trying to deliberate who will get this and who will get that, and that's an issue. The acting HOD of the waste management has raised this issue on several times, saying MMCs, or rather party members or councillors, cannot meddle with procurement processes, and this is something which is
bad
quite
governance.
An issue. It really is bad governance, and therefore the ANC is saying we're not all going to be part of this mess. Either you fix this, or we may just be talking a different language in terms of walking out. And if you look at this properly, you get a sense that it seems as though the ANC and the EFF are currently not seeing eye to eye with the situation here. And this could be a disaster for that ANC-led alliance in Ekurhuleni. Let's take a listen to what Jongizi Dlabati, the ANC's council whip, had to say.
We call upon the executive mayor to firmly take charge of the executive work, including the conduct of some members of the mayoral committee. And the sooner it does so, the better. Otherwise, the mayoral committee will become a loose cannon. We therefore want to give the executive mayor the benefit of the doubt for the failure to ensure that the center is holding on its part will plunge us into a leadership crisis. We did not support the election of a Blompot executive mayor. Therefore, the executive mayor must rise to the occasion, because we will find it difficult as the ANC to defend any disjuncture arising from the manner and the conduct of the members of the mayoral committee. The executive mayor must take charge. He must steer and direct the municipal program.
A loose cannon, but the ANC was one of those parties. What do you call them?
Yeah.
Super 7.
Super
in
7.
Who chose this mayor.
Yeah.
And now they're saying it's a loose cannon. Okay, anyway, Pule, that's Ekurhuleni. But you and I have been talking about Johannesburg as recently as yesterday.
Yep.
Before you go, very quickly give us an update about what's happening, because there were allegations that surfaced just Friday evening after the new mayor, Mr. Gwamanda, had been sworn in as the new mayor of Johannesburg. The DA threatening all kinds of things, allegations that he was linked to a fraud scam through a company, and you tracked some of those alleged victims to Soweto yesterday, who are saying they are preparing some legal action. What is the latest in this Johannesburg debacle?
I think one would say, pretend the ANC and the EFF has to get their house in order. We saw what happened in Tshwane with Dr. Morongo Makwarela. Field mayor, the next thing there's scandals. We saw in the city of Johannesburg, not quite happy with Thapelo Ahmad, and now we're seeing in Ekurhuleni where they're singing a different tune around the current mayor. But the update in Johannesburg now is that Al Jama'ah has requested Mpho Phalatse to retract his statement and claims that the candidate, council, and of course executive mayor of Johannesburg, Mr. Gwamanda, was involved in a fraud scheme in which the fortunes of many pupils or people living in Soweto were not given back to them, or else they will be going to court if the DA does not retract that statement. We haven't seen anything from the DA this far to say will they be retracting or not. They've given the party 48 hours starting from today.
And there's tomorrow coming Wednesday. Remember, there was the threat of some legal action.
Yes.
We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Definitely, yeah.
Thank you very much. Pule Letshwiti-Jones.